Hey friends, this is Wendy with Love and Stampin', and I am very excited to be here with you today. We are going to make a great shaker card using the Animal Crackers Crafty Foxes and the Autumn Beautiful Bounty stamp sets from Picket Fence. This stamp set was illustrated by my friend Kelly Taylor, and the foxes, I don't know who illustrated it, but it's adorable. I'm also using this Grateful die from Picket Fence and these arch dies. I think that they're either from Hero Arts or Spellbinders. The link is below the video for all the supplies. I'm going to grab my mini Misty and I'm going to stamp all these images at once. This is my very favorite. I guess I can't say it's my favorite. I'm going to say that it's in my top 3 favorite things about the Misty is absolutely that you can stamp a whole bunch of images all at one time. Gone are the days of us having to put individual stamps on blocks and stamp them. So here I also stamped out my wagon and my floral images, and I'm just doing this in a process, right? Assembly, if you will. I'm stamping everything at once, then I'm coloring everything at once. So talking about the coloring, let's talk about it. On my blog post for today, I have all of the color combinations that I used written out for you. So this is something I'm trying really hard to get better about, because what I'm finding for myself is when I watch somebody color, I really want to know the color combinations they used, and not everybody writes that down. And I understand why. I can see both perspectives. When you are in the process of coloring, sometimes you're just grabbing colors that work and you're not taking the time to look at them and write them out and that kind of thing. And I'm really bad about putting my markers back before I write them down. So what I've been trying to do is set all of my markers on my work surface so that as I'm coloring, I can take the time afterwards. I can just set them down, and then afterwards I can go back and write all the colors out. So all the color combos for this card is written out on my blog post. So you can go there and check it out. Now, as far as the coloring goes, let's talk about a few things with the pumpkins, for example. Anywhere where one pumpkin lays on top of the other, or in the centers of the pumpkins where the lines are, those all are going to be darker because that's where the shadows will be. You want your lighter to come to the center because that makes it have the look of being round or full. And on the foxes, I didn't worry about a light source. I just colored. I just used colors that worked and colored. Here I used the Altenew X-Acto knife, craft knife, to cut out the centers of this wagon because the die cut does not do that. And originally my thought was that these little straw pieces would poke out from the wagon. Well, turns out when I completely finish everything, you can't even see the straw, and that sucks. But the thought was there. It's the thought that counts. These little straw pieces are literally from a little broom that I had from Target. It was just a little Halloween decoration, and I grabbed it and tore it apart. So, you just get creative when you're crafting. You just do what needs to be done. I'm using my precision glue press to glue all of this stuff down in place, and the pad you see me using there is my Sweet Petunia grid paper. I don't think I could live without this grid paper at this point. I use it for everything. I use it to color on. I use it to spritz on. I use it to ink blend sometimes. I use it for something like this that I know it's going to make a mess and I don't want it all over my craft table. I know a lot of people have those glass mats. Those do not work for me. I get tons of reflection when I use those. I did have the Tim Holtz glass mat, and it's literally sitting here in my craft room just taking up space because if I use it in a video, it reflects and I can't seem to figure out how to get rid of that reflection. There's a huge bird that just flew by. My door is open because the weather's nice this morning, even though it's going to be really hot today. So, anyway, back to our card making here. So I'm going to die cut a framed arch piece, which will also give me a second arch piece that I'm going to use on my second card. But I wanted to make this a shaker card. So to do that, I wanted this beautiful gold rim, and I wanted it to be layered on top of a nice, pretty, dark background. So I cut those out, and then I did the exact same cut out of a piece of white cardstock. And then I'm going to take and I cut a piece of acetate out of the largest, of the two dies that I used to make the frame. I used the largest one to cut a piece of acetate. So here I'm using my precision glue press, which gives me that nice fine line. And then I'm going to glue down my piece of acetate window. This is going to help build my shaker. And then I'm going to glue the gold piece on top. So we have a sandwiched piece of window sheet or acetate in between the two pieces of the arch. Then we will be able to build out our shaker. I used some old foam strips that I have hanging around to create my channels, or my, what would you call those? Why are words hard? Sometimes words are just hard. And I find that when I'm filming, they are the hardest because it's like I'm on the spot to come up with a word and I just can't think of it. So we're going to use foam strips to create our wells. We're going to call them wells because I can't think of another word. I don't know. To hold our shaker bits. The shaker bits I'm using are also from Picket Fence Studios. However, when I went to link them in the supply list, I could not find them. So I have no idea if these shaker bits are still around. I've had them for a really long time, but there are so many cool shaker bits on the Picket Fence website. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Again, using that glue press to get everything stuck down and in place. And then I'm going to build my scene on top of this wagon full of pumpkins. I'm just going to share some little story time with you. We are going to be having a harvest festival here in the town I live in October. And I am volunteering to decorate for it. I'm a little nervous about this because I feel like it's kind of a big job. Like, oh, by the way, I'm using my Misty here to push everything down in place. Misties come in great as weight-bearing placeholders. So if you need to like put weight on top of something to get it all glued together, use a Misty. So we are having a harvest festival, and at the harvest festival, there is a chili cook-off. There is grape stomping because I live at the foot of the Shenandoah Vineyards in California. So there's grape stomping, there's chili cook-off, there's going to be vendors, there's going to be old vintage tractors to look at. It's just, I really live in like Stars Hollow. If you are a Gilmore Girl fan, you know what I'm referring to. If you've never seen Gilmore Girls, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. And if you're looking for a new show to binge, it's an old show, but it'll be new to you and you should binge it. I think there's 7 seasons. Plus, there's also like a 4-episode follow-up. So make sure you're watching the original Gilmore Girls first. But fall, for me, is time for me to rewatch Gilmore Girls and enjoy all the festivities of fall. So in October, we're doing this harvest festival. I am part of the committee, and a couple years ago, I volunteered for it, and I served chili. We're using nutmeg from Concord and 9th here to stamp our sentiment. And then this year, I'm in charge of the decorations. So I'm a little nervous about it because I feel like decorations are important. But the good news is that the city provides a lot of decoration already. Like they put corn stalks out all down our main street. I live in a really small rural town. So they put corn stalks out already. So all I have to do is get the pumpkins, and there's a local vineyard that will supply the pumpkins to us. And then I've got to get the hay bales, and they will deliver them to me. And then I'm going to round up some cute like quilts and stuff to put over the hay bales, because I don't know if you've ever sat on a bale of hay, but it's itchy, it's pokey, and if you're not wearing boots and jeans, it's not a desirable thing to sit on. But if you throw a blanket over it, it's fantastic. So my plan is to round up some blankets. I don't know if you guys have a good suggestion for me on where to get some old blankets. I was thinking I would hit up the thrift store, but I was also thinking I might put out a message on Facebook and just see if any of my local friends have old, like, I really would like to go for like plaid, like kind of fall vibe plaid blankets. I may even go on Amazon and just see if I can find some really inexpensive ones. I don't know. So if you have any ideas for me on rounding up old blankets, let me know. And so yeah, there's going to be music. It should be a lot of fun. Okay, here for the background behind everything, I took my B01 and B00 markers and I just went back and forth and made it look like a sky. And that was it. I kept it super simple. I did not want it to be completely filled in. I wanted there to be spaces of white and lighter and darker, because that's how the sky looks, right? The sky's not solid blue. Well, sometimes it's solid blue. I said that and I looked outside and I'm like, oh, it's solid blue today. But in the fall, usually you've got some wispy clouds or things like that. So I'm going to remember I told you about the foam strip well that I just simply can't find a word for. We're going to do that now. So anyway, that is something that's coming up soon. And then the other thing that is going on is, I think I said that I'm running for city council. The vote is in November. However, recently I found out that I most likely will end up getting a seat, because there was 4 of us running and there's 3 open seats. But one of the ladies made an announcement that she is not going to be campaigning, and if she does get the position, she will resign immediately. Unfortunately, and she shared this publicly, so I feel like I can share it with you. Her son has, well, she didn't say her son. She said a family member, but I'm pretty sure that it's her son, has a fentanyl addiction. And she was very open and honest about it in the speech she gave at she's currently on the city council. She's a current mayor. And the speech she gave at our last city council meeting was just beautiful. I almost started tearing up, actually, because she was talking about how we all need to talk more about this crisis of young people getting addicted to drugs, and also mental health, where it applies to stuff. Because what happened, I believe, is I think her family member got in an accident and was given oxy for pain, and then that developed an addiction. So somebody who lived most of their life drug free and then ended up addicted to drugs. And it's absolutely so devastating. So she will not be participating. So by default, I think that I'll end up getting a spot on the city council. I'm really excited about that, but I will admit if in the event I'm not elected because not enough people voted for me, which I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, since I've put up signs and I've got it, I'm trying. I don't know for sure if I'll take the position, because I feel really strongly about, if you're elected to, you should be elected to an office because the people want you there, right? So anyway, we'll see how all of that goes. Here's my finished shaker card front. If this is not the cutest fall shaker card you've ever seen, I just don't know what is. I love this card. I'm having a hard time parting with it. I have somebody in mind that I want to send it to, and I just don't know if I can do it. I have a sickness. So anyway, that's kind of story time. There's not a whole lot else going on right now. Just, normal day-to-day, everyday life. And my daughter is driving now. That's been a big change. We've talked about that some. As far as what's going on with me, I pretty much just filled you in. I'm volunteering for things. I'm running for city council. I am a volunteer for our Ag Boosters program at the high school, and I'm working and being a mom and a wife and doing all those things. Also, fall. Let's talk about fall. As far as just around your house, do you feel the urge to purge and clean at the beginning of fall and the beginning of spring? These are the 2 times of year where I feel, there's my husband's air compressor, window door is open, remember I told you. We'll never get through a video with complete silence, people. It's just never going to happen in my house, I don't think. So, anyway, I feel like at the beginning of fall and the beginning of spring, I am just invigorated with the urge to clean and purge. It's literally all I can think about. Like, and that's a problem because I have other things I have to tend to. Like, I have to work. But while I'm working, I'm thinking about, man, I really want to clean out the shed. Man, I really want to deep clean this room, or I want to paint this room, or I want to do this thing, or I want to take all the gross plants out of my potted plants and put all fresh stuff out. Like, it's like I get consumed this time of year with those types of thoughts. And I usually act on the urges at some point. Like, I can't be helped anymore. I can't be stopped. And I just end up doing things, which is good because, you know, we do need to do things to improve our homes and living spaces. But what I find is that it just kind of consumes me. So if you are like that too, let me know, because I'm super curious to know. I really want to decorate for fall also. However, it is supposed to be 100 degrees here. The day that you're watching this video, not the day I'm recording it, but the day that you're watching it, is supposed to be 100 degrees here. So it's really hard to get yourself in that mindset of like, oh, let's decorate for fall when it's still in the upper 90s to 100 degrees. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I still have tomatoes ripening on the vine. I still have flowers blooming like as if it's spring or the beginning of summer. It's crazy. The heat this year in California has been something to behold. And I am a summer girl. You guys know, if you've been around here at all, you know I love summer. This summer has made me question my thoughts. It has made me question my beliefs. Okay, I'm not going to show you this whole second card being made, but I just wanted to show you this part. This is the center of the arch from the little frame that we cut out. This is the center of that arch. I just didn't want it to go to waste, you know? I wanted to make something else with it. So I cut it out and we cut it out. I embossed it, and then I made this card with the other goodies I made. So those are the 2 cards that I ended up with. I think they are beautiful. I love them both. The one on the left is a 5x7 card. I used those grateful letters and for our friendship. And then I made the Hey There Pumpkin card, and I just really love both of them. I think they're great. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. You can watch either other video that you see here. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the very next video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.